was thinking about the better days. My youth so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to Nightcap. So let's do this, man. Let's talk about the Forest game. Also, appreciate you guys taking out your Monday evening to spend time with me because it's always fun to talk about Arsenal. So a lot went on in this game, guys, and also appreciate you guys supporting the vlog that I do on a day. I really enjoy doing that. What's going on, Andrew? I appreciate your time, bro, with you. Hope you enjoyed the game as well. It really told us something about the team. And what it did for me, as I said pre-game, my biggest concern, it wasn't even a concern, it was more of an enlightenment. I said to myself, we've never had this front three before. We've never played with this three set of guys who were extremely talented. Last year, Martinelli, Saka, and Havertz, and most of those guys grew criticism. Saka, not really, but then we all know Saka starts slowly, innit? We all know Saka starts the season very slowly. And then I thought to myself, this is going to be enlightening to see what's going on. And boy, what we saw was just incredible. What we saw is going to change the game. And this is the reason why I said, let them cook. First of all, guys, let's get through the player ratings and then we can have a conversation and talk about what actually happened in the game. Let's talk about the player ratings first. So I just want to talk about David Raya. Nothing really to hit home with Raya. He didn't have much to do. When you consider that he only faced one attempt on goal, and that was when the cross came over, Chris Woods chested it. Can't even call it a Giroud scorpion kick. He chested it, and then Raya made a fingertip save to put it on the crossbar. That is the ingredients of a quality goalkeeper. Any goalkeeper who's fallen asleep, not faced the shot, and gets an attempt like that, just so alert, just goes to show how good he is. And as I said, that was Forest's only attempt of the day. I want to go on to Jurrien Timber. I gave Jurrien Timber a 7. Now, I do want to point something out. For those of you who did see the full game and was at the stadium, you'll know exactly what I'm saying in regards to him. He didn't look 100% fit. And I know from talking to the medical staff, he is not 100% fit. We're struggling a little bit there at right back. It's good to know we've got Ben White, and it's good to know we've got Jurrien Timber. But if you actually watch the game, he didn't pursue himself across the halfway line for much of the game. In fact, it just goes to show you how well Madueke played, because what he did, he kind of had to do himself. Now, normally, for most of the game, Timber supports the overlap. He's critical, actually, to the way we play because Bukayo Saka, when he has his struggles, Timber normally is the man that he's dependent on to do the overlaps, to do the 1-2s, which then puts Saka into space. Madueke don't need that help. Madueke don't need that help. One-on-one, Madueke is a terrorist. He absolutely can destroy a defender. Just the sheer skill of him and the ability to go past a man. And I said this before in the pregame on my video yesterday. That's not saying Saka can't do it. It's just Saka's not great at it. Saka, at some attempts, can beat his man. But I'll tell you where the issue is, guys. Both Saka and Madueke are innately left-footed. And Saka will use his right when he's pushed onto it. We have seen him. He scored 6 goals over the last few years with his right foot. But given the choice, Saka will always cut on the outside. Yeah, on the inside. You won't see him go out. You really see him cut to the byline and then put the ball into the middle. He'll always carry it where he's on his strongest left foot. And that gives him the ability to find anyone in space, whether it's Trossard, Martinelli, Declan Rice, or Odegaard, or have his famous left foot curled shot into the top left corner. That's kind of his forte. This guy, Madueke, is not afraid to go onto the byline with his right foot, which is his off foot, and put the ball in. And we saw him do it time and time and time again. And what that does is it creates confusion with the left back, because now, you don't know where he's going. With Saka, you know the move. With Saka, you got to take an extra step to the right to try and cut him off from using his left foot. With this guy, you have no idea what he's going to do. And it's absolutely scary to the point where I'm going to show you guys some numbers after I do the play ratings. You guys are going to be shocked. I did put it on the forum today. I said I'm going to show you guys some stats that's going to really highlight a lot of things in terms of where we're going. But he just brings a different kind of composure. And I think that going back to Timber, that's why we didn't see Timber try to press the initiative, because he had no need. Medawaki did not need his help. Mascara, guys, I'm going to give Mascara an 8. Boy, this guy's got Saliba levels of composure. And what I saw yesterday as well, which, you know, we're learning this, aren't we? We're learning these things from these players because we're starting to see them more now. He's baiting players. He's actually baiting players. We are seeing him bait the defense. Andrew was saying build up and goal by Gyökeres was the best moment for me. Yeah, and I'm going to come on to that when I talk to Calafiori. But in regards to Mascara, he can bait strikers. You see him just hold the ball and keep it, look around, see what passes there to find open spaces in the middle. And obviously he kept Chris Wood quiet. It's I had this feeling when Saliba went. I was like, you know what, I'm not even bothered. It don't even bother me. And all that is justified from this shit. This guy cost 13 million pounds, 50 million euros. That's all he cost. It's ridiculous. Big up to you, D. Yeah, I see all your messages. Shout out to you, brother. This guy, I tell you what, man, if any, I thought about it and I thought, you know what? Arteta's put himself in a position that if Saliba or Gabriel decided they want to go and we want to cash in and take 80, 90 million, you can do it. That's where we are right now. You can sell one of your creme de la creme players, which, guys, look, City does it. Yeah, they've sold Cancelo, all the, you know, Gundogan or whatever. They've sold many players. Liverpool's done it. They sold Coutinho, got 140 million for him. They sold Luis Diaz. They sell top players all the time. Chelsea does it. Arsenal doesn't do it. We're never in that position where we want to sell top quality players. I think right now, the way this squad is, you could say goodbye to a few quality players and not feel any pressure in having a drop off. That's where we are right now, guys. I think we have the best squad in the league. I still think Liverpool are very, very good, and we haven't even seen Isak. But I think pound for pound, we match up really well with them. But over 38 games, I think we're strong, man. I think we've got the strongest squad. But going back to Gabriel now, he also gets an 8. Played a big role with our third clean sheet. And guys, I did say this yesterday, it's 4 games without allowing a goal in from open field. That's where we are. Like, no team has scored against us in open field. That's a good look, guys. That's a really good look. And Man City up next. Boy, I can't wait to show them something. I can't wait to see Man City come into the Emirates. We battered them 5-1 last year. And if you thought that was good, because they don't press. They were an aging team. They're getting younger now, City. But they're by no means the team that struck fear into teams previously before. You can get at them. And unfortunately, it just goes to show how bad United was when they lost 3-0 to them. But in terms of what Andrew was talking about with the goal, with Gyökeres' goal, Ricardo Calafiori, again, after week, he's contributing in attack and defense. This is the second time, because we saw it when Gyökeres scored these previous goals before. The vision that Calafiori has and the long passing skill to drop it right on the shoulder of Eze is just sublime. And, you know, he's breaking the word inverted, because you're seeing him on the right, you see him in the center, you're seeing Calafiori on the left. It's crazy what he's doing. He's involved in attack in such a positive way, but at the same time, he's defending. So this guy is critical. Everyone's now seeing what that 40 million was all about. And he's a steal. He's a steal. The fact that we were all lording over Miles Lewis-Skelly last season, and this guy was never really fit. Yeah, he was never really fit. And to see him come in and do what he's doing, it's just brilliant. It really is. I want to talk about Martin Zubimendi. I gave him a 9. Made an impact on the tempo of the game. Early contender for goal of the season. Just the way that he reads the game, though, and his vision, his composure, and he plays a part of just keeping things smooth for us. So I think for him, guys, it's a transition. We all know what Thomas Partey could do when he was brilliant at it. And asking someone like Zubimendi to play the single pivot, he's not there yet, guys. Let's make no mistake. He's put in some brilliant performances, but he's not at the point where you saw Thomas Partey dominate games. Teams were throwing 2 or 3 players to disrupt Partey in the middle, and they just blew off him. They just fell off him like water off a duck's backside, as they say. And so Zubimendi's not there yet, but what we're starting to see from him is the intelligence, the composure, and his positioning means he's always there where he needs to be. I'm not sure he has the range yet. I don't think he has the range, and that's where I worry about the single pivot. With Partey, you knew Partey would always spot things before they happen, and he was there to break things up before they happened. I think that's where Zubimendi needs help, and that's a key to it, to have Moreno in the midfield. There's a tactical reason why we're starting to see Moreno now, because he's helping sustain that breakup play in the midfield. He did it so well against Liverpool. He did it again against Forest, and it's just so pivotal with Moreno and how he's actually applying himself. I gave Moreno an 8. In the first few minutes, he was denied scoring a point blank shot. I think it was Matt Sells that blocked it. But Moreno's showing that he's really good in tight spaces. He made several recoveries. The biggest thing for me, though, guys, he led the field by running 12.2 kilometers. That's insane. That's the very definition of box-to-box midfielder. And when you consider that Declan Rice had played quite a lot of minutes for England, and I did say in my last video that that's probably why he didn't start the game. But tactically, Mikel Moreno is on it, man. That's one of his best games as an Arsenal player against Forest. There's just nothing you can do against our midfield. Teams cannot play overloads on us. They can't. We're press resistant on the back line when we're playing the ball out the back. You can't overload us in the midfield. It's just a very dominant team. And if the front three start singing, seriously, we're going to put a run together. It's hard to see where teams are going to score against us, or even let alone have chances to score. It's not all good. Ethan Nwaneri, I thought, had a steady game. I gave him a 7, guys. D says, I hear you, Apollo. Yeah, it was there too. Yeah, bro. We need to talk about Ethan Nwaneri. We all got to be honest. And you guys know, and it's not being critical of him. I'm not being critical. I'm just pointing out that he's been brilliant replacing Saka last season when he's on the wing. The stuff I've seen him do, take-ons and everything, I think he's been fantastic. Standout player there. But as a number 10 in the middle, I've never seen anything from him. And that's just me stating the obvious. I've never seen him dominate the game the way Martin Odegaard has. And so Saturday's game, I thought he did okay. I thought he had a steady game, wasn't impactful. He didn't put in the Odegaard performance. He's far from it, in fact. We're not seeing him create chances. That's the biggest thing. As a number 10, your job is to spot the field, take the ball in transition, and you're the brain. You're the brain of the team, yeah? The number 6 pivot is the cog. That's the machine, Zubimendi, that strives the team going forward. It balances the whole team. When the ball goes to the number 10, that then sends you in attack mode. And attack mode means we are creating chances to score. We're putting pressure on the defense. We're pressing, we're dribbling. And he doesn't have any of that. He's not creating chances. And the statistics I'll show you later on shows that. But what he's doing, guys, he's getting around into space, receiving the ball, and playing passes. He's got a very high percentage of passing, which is good. Ethan is stronger. He's stronger, and he's definitely a better dribbler than Odegaard. But the things that he has to learn from me are 2 things. Number 1, he's got to create chances. You've got to see the open field and spot runs when they're being made, and have the ability to slot the ball into tight spaces. He doesn't have that. And then the other thing is off the ball in transition defensively, the pressing is weak. His pressing game is weak. That's normally Odegaard's strongest suit. Odegaard is the king at starting the press, at getting that momentum to start winning the ball back up high at the field. Wanyeri can't do that. He hasn't been able to do that yet. His pressing instincts are very, very slow. I actually saw a few times where Gyökeres was the one that was waving him on because he just hadn't got that step up the field yet. So look, it will come. Wanyeri, I think it's you can see from yesterday's game. I said I gave him a 7. I think he applied himself well. That's really important, and we can see he's building confidence. So I'm really happy with where he is at the moment, but I'm looking for him to sort of really make that step forward. Let's talk about the front line, guys. Boy, this is where things are going to get nasty now. The front line, Madueke. I actually made Madueke my man of the match. Playing on the right-hand side, guys, he's just unplayable. And let's not act like we didn't know this. Most of you who saw this at Chelsea last season and was miffed when Arsenal fans were saying, why did we pay 48 million? 48 million, guys, I'm telling you, is a steal. For a guy of his skill set, Madueke, 48 million is a steal. That is an absolute steal. He is ridiculous, guys. Forget, first of all, the dribbling. Let's leave that till last. He had 9 duels. He won 9 duels. 9, in fact. Let's pull him up. Yeah? Let's celebrate our boy here. Let's get rid of this thing. Let's pull him up. Let's change this now. Let's get this up here. Let's get this up here and change it now so we can see what our boy's doing. Have I got this thing playing around with me now? Come on, man. Yeah, I think this thing doesn't want to. Ah, here it is. Right. Okay. Let's go. Let's get this up on here. Oh, right. It doesn't want to. It doesn't. Okay. It doesn't want to come on. It doesn't want to come on. Right. For some reason, it doesn't want to come. So I'll read you guys what this is saying here, because now it's working. Right. I got it working now. Right. Let's get it up on the screen so you guys can see it. And that means that I'm going to have to take the banner off. Right. So Madueke, guys, 9 duels won, 5 chances created, and 4 take-ons. So remember, we're talking about what we want to see from Ethan Wanyeri. Yeah? Chances created. This guy created 5 chances. 5 chances to score. That's ridiculous. 9 duels won, 4 take-ons. So with all that being said, what we're seeing from him is something that's breaking the game. This is an ability that Arsenal have not really had before. He's making runs into space. He's combining with teammates. But the biggest question that I have for you guys is, how do you beat a low block? We see Arsenal struggle with it all last season. Teams just was embedded in at the back and we couldn't break it. But to beat a low block, guys, you've got to create and exploit the space by being direct, being faster with ball movement, and dribbling at defenders one-on-ones. Yeah, these breaks kind of breaks up the shape, because if you run at a defender and you go past him, the other 2 guys have to come into space to compensate, which means holes start to break up in the defense. So when the likes of Gyökeres or Declan Rice or Moreno or any of them guys are running in the middle, they're now in open space, all because this guy has gone past his player and he's in space. He's drawn the defenders, and that's something that we've seen Saka do a couple of times, but he's not consistent. He's not consistent in beating a man. But this destabilizes the back line, guys, and creates space for your teammates. And this guy is just ridiculous. Madueke, he's just sick. And so I'm going to talk about Eze and Gyökeres, and then I'm going to move to the sheet that I needed to show you guys. Eze, guys, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Very alert, showed a lot of skill on the ball, very, very classy with his play. And I think some of it was to an extent just to show his class. And we're going to like that. It's eye candy. But the things that we know he can do, he hasn't broke out yet. He hasn't. Eze hasn't had a breakout Arsenal game yet. What we saw on Saturday was just a taste. And sometimes he was making Forest defenders look silly. He was just spinning around them, leaving them into space, making them look stupid. And look, that's just the skill of it. But the assist on the Calafiori pass to Gyökeres was just brilliant. And the ball, it was perfectly weighted, pinpoint. Guys, remember, there was 3 defenders running in on the back line with Gyökeres. Yet Eze puts the ball where only Gyökeres can make contact with it. That's the class in this player. But I think what we're starting to see is some defending as well. Now, a couple of Crystal Palace fans that I know said to me they couldn't believe when they saw him defend. He was matching up. But guys, look, if you want to play for Mikel Arteta, he's going to grill that into you. Do you remember when Thierry Henry went to Barcelona and Pep Guardiola said, if you ain't defending, you're on the bench? Henry ended up being on the bench for 3 games, I think it was, until he started to put a shift in. But that's the power in the positiveness of the manager. What he's doing with these players. What you're seeing from Eze and what you're seeing from Nomeki is just the start. Yeah? And whether they will be able to live up to that billing is something we're going to have to see as it progresses. Because we know what's happened to Martinelli over the years. Martinelli has digressed. Yeah? So we have to see how it goes for this guys to become the perfect team. So I liked what I saw from Eze yesterday, but there's more to come from him. Victor Gyökeres, let's get the ratings back up because you guys can't see the ratings. Victor Gyökeres, guys, I gave him a 7.5. I don't know what some of you guys are talking about in terms of he ain't involved in the game. He's not supposed to be. He's growing in confidence. I noticed his fitness is starting to improve, but don't complain that he goes missing in games. Because, guys, he's lacking the service, yes, we know. They will fix that. They will fix it. He could drop deep, as I mentioned in my video on Saturday, like Havertz does, and Moreno. But what that does is that then takes away the threat on the back of the defensive line. It takes away from the threat. So when you break quickly and the ball goes in the middle, guess what? There's no one there to put the ball in the net. Do you want that? No. So you would need him where he is, right on the anchor, on the edge of the box, so when things break, he can do what he did against Forest and get on the end of it. It's a very difficult thing, guys, because what he's doing well is he's running the channels. You saw I put the stat up on my video on Saturday. He's number 1 in the Premier League for runs beyond the final third. There's nobody making more runs than Gyökeres. Keep him doing that, and know that he's going to be there when you put the ball in. Do you remember when Kevin De Bruyne said he doesn't even have to worry about it? All he does is put the ball into space and he knows Haaland's going to be there. That's kind of the mentality that our midfielders have to have. Like, Calafiori is the only one that seems to get it. Put the ball into space and our guys will run on it and things will happen. That's twice now Calafiori's made those decisions. And we're not seeing it happening from pretty much anywhere else on the pitch. So that's something which I think is going to be a work in progress. But Gyökeres is exactly what we need. Makes great runs, pressures the Forest back line, never stops running. His pressing game is elite. He shuts everything down. He closes the goalie out. You know, the goalies are only allowed to keep it for 8 seconds. Gyökeres is right there putting pressure on, which is something Nketiah and Jesus are really good at. And this guy brings that as well. So, let's talk about the move. Yeah. Let's talk about the move where Gyökeres picks the ball up into space on the left. He goes past 2 players, and then he lays the ball off to Madueke, runs on the outside of the right side, picks the ball up in the slip, and then thunders the shot. That's probably the hardest I've seen anyone strike the ball since Alexis Sanchez played in 2017. In 8 years, I've never seen anybody strike the ball that hard. And then Gyökeres hits the post. What a goal that would have been if it went in. At the sheer quality of it. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. But yeah, look, he's got what, 3 goals in 4 games, and he's just getting there, guys. He's just getting there. I like what I see from him. Keep going, keep what you're doing, and let's grow from it. D says we've got Glock, bro. He's a pressing demon. Odegaard just needs to create. We've got Zumbamendi now. We don't need to drop deep either. Exactly. I agree with you. Yeah. Odegaard and Nelly are a thing of the past. Definitely not Odegaard because he creates chances. But Nelly, I definitely agree with you with. He goes on to say, Eze, Glock, and Nani and Wanyeri behind. This is the way forward. I think you still need Sag. The only thing that worries me about Madueke is his end product. That was always the thing with me in the summer. Is like he's got all these skills. It's putting them together now and having that end product. And I think that that's something that he's going to have to work on. As far as that's concerned, Saka is still going to, Saka's still your guy. If you want goals, that's still your guy. Yeah. So there's things that you can do. And like I said, there's no such thing as a starting 11. Every man can play. It's next man up. And you don't want to burn your guys out. I expect Saka to start 26, 27 games. And the other 11 or 12 games, I want Madueke to start. That's how the top teams, that's how City did it when they won titles. Don't burn your players out. Don't play them 35, 36, 37 games a season. That don't work. Yeah. Andrew says fitness is a key component. And this, again, plays onto the amount of times players are starting games. The amount of running on the pitch dictates not demanding to play, even with slight injury. Enforce the rest for both Odegaard and Saka may well be the best outcome. Yeah, and look, guys, we have let me take the player ratings off. We have no Havertz, no Saliba, no Saka, no Odegaard. Ben White's injured. It's just like, no, and again, as I said, no Saliba. No problem. No problem. Guys, if I said to you many moons ago, last year, that all them players were injured, you guys would have said our season's over. Yeah, our season done. But that's not what happened. I'm going to get rid of this now. The conversation tonight, though, guys, is I want to talk to you about moving forward. Breakout Hoops as well said Gyökeres just needs time, but he needs to be serviced. Yeah, that's a thing, and I think he's growing. I did mention a thing about his fitness as well. That looks like it's greatly improving. But guys, I want to show you this very important table that I made up today. What this table shows you is, let me know if you can see it properly. I'll try to blow it up as much as I can. That's probably a bit too much, but then I'll go into details of what that says. This table is why I want to show you guys how our front three is different with Eze and Madueke. Now, what this does is it shows us, first of all, you can see the minutes that they've played, but it says assist XG. So this is obviously the assist XG of the players, how much they've shot, the passing in the final third. But how do you break a low block? How do you break a low block? With dribbling skills. Yeah. And for what we're seeing here, Madueke, we can talk about him. He has the highest XG assist in our team with 0.72. So he's got a 72% chance of creating an assist in a game due to the way how he plays. He's had 4 shots this season, 26 passes into the final third. But guys, he's made 9 successful dribbles. 9. And he dribbles, guys, a 55% ratio. I did in the yellow, you can see something else. I'm going to try and move it a little bit here to that side. 56% dribbling this season. Last season, guys, was 56%. So remember I said to you guys, when he was at Chelsea, he was fantastic. I thought he was Chelsea's best player. And when they came to the Emirates to play, he was the only person I was worried about. And this is why, guys, you can see he's the best dribbler on our team. If you want someone to take on a player and beat the man, it's Madueke. Yeah? On top of that, guys, he takes a lot of shots. Eze, 183 minutes. That's also, by the way, before you guys are talking about the minutes, it's included the game he played again with Palace. Yeah? I wanted to keep it 100 for this season. So He's got a 0.55% XG. So notice the two guys who was playing against Forest have the best assist XG in the whole team. In the whole team. And they also shoot the most as well. Eze's had 8 shots this season. Not only that, guys, but they play more balls into the final third than all the other players. He's had 14 of them. And also, they create the most dribbles. They have the most successful dribbles. Eze has 12 completed dribbles this season and has the highest dribble rate in the entire Premier League. There is no one who goes past players better than Eze. And then in yellow, you can see it says 52%, and that was last season. So I'm going to break this down. We don't really need to talk about Gyökeres because Gyökeres is a striker. I just put his numbers here just for the sake of it. I did say to you guys in the summer when we bought him, I said, he ain't just a goal scorer. He creates goals. He makes goals. And you can see that by his 0.7 XG. 7 shots, 4 passes in the final third. He's completed 2 dribbles as well. You can see Gyökeres has a 21% dribble completion rate. So that's good. So that means Gyökeres can beat a man. We saw that when he scored his first goal from open field. Remember, when he picked up the ball on the left, he went past 2 players and then shot the ball on the goalkeeper's left side and scored the goal. So we know Gyökeres can do that. Fine. Before this is going to hurt, guys. Let me go to Andrew first. Andrew says, modern wide players must be able to dribble with either foot, plus go inside and outside. Madueke puts a fullback and a defense because they have no idea which is going to go. Yes, 100%. 100%. D is saying the team is evolving. Arteta seems to be letting them play. Well, he has to, or his job. I don't believe his job is gone, but I do believe what you're saying is letting them play. But adding to that as well, D, is he's given them the defensive responsibilities. Remember against Man United when Madueke came on for Martinelli, and Ahmad burned him. He toasted him twice. I was like, Madueke, what's this brother? He can't defend. This brother can't defend. And what I saw against Forest is he's defending. He's defending. Arteta, listen, Arteta don't suffer fools, you know. If you're going to come up and expose your team, you're on the bench. Arteta's not going to, that's the criticism with Arteta, why he hasn't been doing the rotation as well, because he don't trust his players. He don't trust them. So that's why he's bled the players that he has in his starting 11 out to dry. He's overplayed them. We know he has. He knows he has. But this year, we're seeing an entirely different thing from Arteta. He's rotating. He's making substitutions. He's putting on players in earlier minutes. He's making 62-minute substitutions now. He's not even waiting for the 70 minutes. He's changing it and fair play to it. Like no one is protected. Don't matter who you are, you're coming off. No matter how well you've played, you're coming off. Because he's looking after those legs. Yeah, he's thinking about the rotation. Back to this Saka, guys. Now, let me talk about Saka. My mouse is doing all kind of craziness tonight. Saka, 143 minutes. Look at Saka. His assist this season is 0.12. That's really poor. But I am going to say these are poor numbers. These numbers for Saka's are not good. I'm going to say that. But I am going to defend Saka by saying Saka's a notoriously slow starter. It takes him 5, 6, 7 games to get going. And when he gets going, he's a terror. Because if you look all the way back, like the numbers are not great. Saka's only had 2 shots this season in 143 minutes played. And hear this, he's only completed 1 dribble. Yeah, his dribble percentage win is 12%. But yes, that's bad. I get it. But remember, I put the yellow in the corner right here for context. That is last season. That's the previous season. So we know Saka's good at dribbling, right? 51% take-on rate. So that's good. It's nothing to worry about. So I know you guys are trying to blow up Saka there at the moment, but all this is showing is Saka starts slowly, and those guys who are Madueke and Eke are just outperforming the context of dribbling and creation. Yeah. Wanyeri. Do you remember I said to you, and I was talking to D about how he ain't shown me the creativity in his game? Look at his XG for assist. It's 0.04. That is not good. He's not creating anything. You can see from the shots, he's had 2 shots. He's had 1 pass into the final third. And that's, look, when you're number 10, D, and you've only made 1 pass into the final third, that's not good enough, you know. And the manager will know that, and Yeri will know that. And when you're on the training pitch and you're coaching, these are the conversations that we need to have with him. You're a number 10. It's your job to have the vision to spot opportunities, because your guys in front of you are making runs everywhere into the box. It's your responsibility, Ethan, as a number 10. Yeah, D said eye test, bro. Yeah, it's your job to spot the runners and then put the ball in. So you have to have the ability to see it, and then Ethan has to have the ability to play the ball in with a weighted pass. So the pass has to have the right weight on it. We know Odegaard can do. We know Odegaard can do that, but Ethan can't. We haven't seen him do that yet, and that's what they're going to be developing with him. That's what I want them to do. Yeah, and then when that is developed in his game, I'm a young boy. I'm 18. But when he starts to come out, yeah, then we're going to see that. At the moment, I would have to say in that regard, Dowman's probably a little bit ahead of him in terms of vision, but Dowman's still got a lot to learn as well. Yeah, Dowman's raw. When Yeri is ahead of him as far as understanding the game and responsibilities, Dowman's not there yet, not by a long shot. But when Yeri, you can see there, does have a 50% dribble take-on rate. So we know when Yeri can beat a man. We know he can go past players. And that's a really good skill to have at the number 10 position. I'm going to leave Dowman out of it because you can see he's only played 27 minutes. Again, it's really for context. 2 shots, 3 passes into the final third, 2 dribbles completed, 20% take-on success rate for Matt Dowman. Now let's talk about the bum drop. Let's drop the bum now. Martinelli. 142 minutes. Look at Martinelli's XG assist. Yeah? Look at, guys, are you seeing this? Look at Martinelli's. And you know what? I'm going to give you a second just to look at it. Yeah? I'm going to give you a second just to look at it. Guys, Martinelli's XG. This is a winger who plays for Arsenal and started 2 games this season. 0.01. That's his XG assist. He's had 1 shot in 2 games. 0 passes into the final third. Guys, let me say that again. 0 passes into the final third. And in terms of dribbles, 0. He's not beaten a single defender all season. Do you remember, guys, last week? Actually, it wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago. Do you remember when Eze came on? And I said to you guys, Eze, in 5 minutes of replacing Martinelli, he already beat 3 men. He dribbled past 3 men in 5 minutes. And Martinelli hadn't done that in 2 games. Not a single man in dribble pass. So, and for context, again, remember context is really important. So let's talk about context. I wonder if I can dribble this down. Right. For context, Martinelli's dribble percentage last year was 34%. And the year before that, 38%. All of our players are in the 50%. So when you take a man on, you've got 50% chance of beating your man. Martinelli's got a 30% chance of beating his man. Yeah, that's his MO. And the thing about this season is he's looked nowhere near even completing that. He's not taken on and beaten a single man. So I don't know whether that's confidence, because again, we've seen him start against Liverpool and completely roast the living hell out of them. And that's why Arteta started him against Liverpool. There was a reason for it. He said, this guy normally turns up for Liverpool, let's play him. But it's just dead. It's just dead. So Breakout is saying, question, do you think there is a bigger issue with Martinelli and his progression, or is it just the start of the season issues? I think it's a lot of things. Confidence is definitely it, but you see, when you see big money names come in, you spend 50 million on Madueke, you spend 70 million on Eze, and you're already not playing well. That's a recipe for disaster. That can sink or swim a player. Yeah. If you swim, then you turn up and you make it happen. And that's why Breakout. That's why he started him against Liverpool, because he wanted to give him the chance. The conversation was, Martinelli, I know you didn't play well against Man United. Yeah, you were awful in that game. It's gone. We can't change it. But what we can do is change the future. We can change it by going out against Liverpool and showing how good you are, how much you've terrorized them, and how much you mean to this team. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He failed. So, look, players go through patches. They go through bad patches. They go through purple patches. They all do it. The best of them do it. Mbappe, Messi's, they all do it. Martinelli's having a bad period right now. He's having a bad period. And the only thing that he can do is make way for players who are, on the top of their game. Play the hot hand, as they always say. And when you're given the opportunity, come in and show your mettle. So remember, guys, when the big battle 3 years ago, so let's go back 3 years ago, Martinelli and Smith Rowe were battling for the left-hand side. Yeah, Andrew, I'll come to you in a minute. Martinelli and Smith Rowe were battling for the left-hand position. Martinelli ended up winning that battle, so he was playing all the time. But what did Smith Rowe do? What did Smith Rowe do? Smith Rowe scored 11 goals that season. 8 of those goals were from the bench. 8. And so he was one of our leading top scorers that season as well. I think he was the second highest leading top scorer. This was just 3 years ago. And so that's what you need to do. When you're under pressure and you're fighting for a spot, when you come on the field, you need to show your mettle. Show the manager that you deserve to be playing. Martinelli didn't do that. He didn't do that against Liverpool. And when he came on against Forest, he didn't pull up trees. So he's got a battle ahead of him, because right now, on that left-hand side, he's down the pecking order. Right now, it's Eze, number 1. The number 2 option would be Madueke, if Saka's fit. And then it's Trossard, and then it's Martinelli. You're 4th down the pecking order now. There's no way. And remember, even over the last few years, when it's been the Trossard versus Martinelli, Trossard's always been the better player. There's no doubt about it. There's not one of you guys that can tell me that Martinelli has outplayed Trossard. Not a chance. How many goals and assists has Trossard had since he joined Arsenal? 26 goals, 21 assists. That's proper production. So, look, he's got a long way back, but we're here for him. We all support Martinelli. We all want him to do well. But right now, you are an impact player. Know your role. And when you get your number called, come in and show us something. Yeah? Because what this sheet shows is shocking. When I put these figures down on here today, I nearly fell off my chair. I said, what? Dee saying, let me go to Andrew first. Andrew says Martinelli is not and will never be a wide player. Yeah, me and you talked about he should be a striker, innit? Yeah, I think he should be a striker. I know there's Moreno there and there's Havertz, but I said 3 years ago that he should be a striker. I remember when Aubameyang got injured for 3 games, or was it a red card? I think it was a red card. And Martinelli played. He had 10 goals that he was 18 years old. He had 10 goals that season. And he played as a striker. He looked fantastic because he didn't have to think. He didn't have to contextualize what his job was. He just had one role: get the ball, do something. That's it. And Andrew says, He can run through plays from that position, but never receive the ball to his feet. His expectation of beating the opposite player. I totally agree. D says you're not winning titles with Nelly. Yeah, you definitely win a title with Odegaard because he's been the best number 10. I showed you the stats already, D, man. What are you talking about? But listen, and let's not discount the fact that Odegaard has been off form last season. He had a bad season. He had a bad season last year. But the season before that, he tied Frank Lampard and Cesc Fabregas scoring record with 15 goals. And I showed you the stats before, he's created more chance than any other player in Europe. Look at D laughing because you know I'm right. The numbers don't lie. But put your hand up and say he was bad last season. He was. We all know he was. And this season, he's got to make a comeback. He's got to improve this season. And over the first few games I've seen him play, he's done okay. D does say clean sheet, barely conceded a chance, positive attacking football, no fluffing around. Guys are out, they're expecting players. This is the way forward. It is, I agree with you. And the one thing that's important is, let me get rid of this and tail off the stream now, because we're done say what we needed to say tonight. And thanks for the input for all of you guys as well. The most important thing is, it's important to show you guys that front three, because they are different. They are built different. Yeah. Even if Saka comes back fit, the ability of taking on players down the wing and creating by beating your man and beating a low block is something we haven't seen before. It's just not something we are used to seeing. Andrew said, remember all the criticism of Granit Xhaka until his best position was on. It was, but Granit Xhaka has long been surpassed by that, and Declan Rice is the model. Remember, in that position, Rice, the most goals he'd ever scored was a couple. Even with Xhaka, the most goals he scored was a couple. Xhaka had 7 goals and 7 assists in that season. Yeah, a good season. But in Rice's first season, he had 7 goals, 9 assists. And last season at that he had 9 goals and 10 assists. So Rice already done, nobody ain't talking about Xhaka anymore. Rice is the model for when Arteta can take a player, move him and coach him into a new position and make him flourish. And Arteta has turned Rice into a world-class player. He has. He's turned Rice into a world-class player. The question is now, Andrew, what can he do with Mascara? What can he do with Zumbamendi? What can he do with Madueke? How higher is Gyökeres's and Eze ceiling playing with Arteta? That's the key right now. And that's what we're going to learn this year. Yeah? Guys, appreciate your time. Loving doing these nightcaps with you, man. Love bouncing off you guys. You guys are so knowledgeable and you really help me move along. And I appreciate your time as always. D said the football is convincing. Everything needs to bode well. This looks like a title-winning squad. It does, 100%. Andrew said patience is a vital component of management plus a fan's demands. Yeah, and it's all coming together. And what's our biggest criticism of Arteta, guys? Our biggest criticism is that he bleeds the players out and doesn't rotate. And so far this season, we're seeing that he's changed that. Now we need to see how everything works. And don't discount the Liverpool game. The Liverpool game, they never played well enough to beat us. They had a wonder goal, and that gave them the 3 points. Outside of that goal, guys, they didn't come close to even scoring against us. I think in terms of the game, it was quite balanced. We did not deserve to lose that game. By all accounts, that game should have finished up a draw. So I've got nothing on the team or nothing on Arteta in regards to what happened in that game. Zumbamendi was the guy that brought the player down that got the foul for the free kick. But those things happen, guys. Those things happen. We take it on the chin. We move forward. We got Man City and then we got Newcastle. We have to go brock them down now, prove a point. If you get past those 2 games, guys, I don't think anyone can stop us. Speak to you guys later, man. Catch up with you soon. Big up to all of you guys.